We're here to ask for your approval in connection with the financing that Tel Hai Retirement Community is doing through the Lebanon County Health Facilities Authority. We did hold the TEFRA hearing this morning at Fred Wolfson's office. As in most cases, nobody arrived to speak for or against the project, so we held the meeting open for about 25 minutes. After nobody arrived, we closed the meeting. And it does require your approval as part of that TEFRA process, so I'm going to let Ben present the resolution for you.
Thank you, Jay. So before you should be a resolution that authorizes Lebanon County Health Facilities Authority to be the issuer of obligations totaling in the aggregate, maximum aggregate is about $40 million, $30 million of which would be issued on a tax-exempt basis. As you know, in this type of financing, the incorporator of the authority that's going to be the conduit issuer must approve these projects. So we're before you today to seek that approval. The resolution also authorizes or ratifies the holding of the hearing that was held this morning, as Jay indicated. It authorizes signing a certificate of approval, which is an exhibit to this resolution. We have a standalone copy also. And it's important to note that the county is not obligated to repay any of the obligations if Tel Hai were to not make the payments. So there's no obligation, no liability for the county in connection with this approval. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about this process.
Traditionally, and there's different departments, and I understand bonds and things, but traditionally, if we approve, say, for the Good Samaritan Hospital, which is now WellSpan, a bond issue, then a couple years from now they want to expand or renovate or whatever, they come back and we redo it, and so I feel we're kind of obligated to follow that through. By approving this today, are they going to come back and are we obligated to approve future expansions and renovations and all that sort of thing?
No, you're not. Because the issuer, the proposed issuer of these obligations is an authority that was incorporated by the county, we have to come before you for this. If Tel Hai were to seek out a different issuer, whether it's in Lebanon County or another county, they would go to the political subdivision that created that authority for the approval.
Is that always the first choice?
It was a requirement.
Oh, it is a requirement.
Under the tax
Okay.
code. So the political subdivision that created the authority must approve of the project regardless of the geography. So by approving this today, you're not obligating yourself to approve it in the future if this were to be refunded through an issuance of Lebanon County Health Facilities Authority. Although, if the Facilities Authority is the issuer of that obligation, they wouldn't be able to proceed without your approval. So really, there's a lot of conversations that are behind the scenes leading up to choosing an issuer. So, clearly there would be conversations to seek, at least the prior informal approval that the county would be on board with this before we, Tel Hai would kind of lock in on an issuer.
Would that then become a multi-county approval, or what we approved previously would then transfer to the home county again?
It depends on the financing, and in some cases, if you are continuing another phase of a project that's really encompassed by the original kind of TEFRA approval, and it's within 3 or 4 years, it's possible that they would not have to go before you for a reapproval. It really depends on the circumstances of the financing.
But in no way would we inhibit the ability of our facilities here in Lebanon County from coming in future years?
No. This, as we call it, the bank qualified kind of small issuer and the designation that we're seeking here, which would be part of this loan, is not imputed up to the county. It doesn't affect your ability to approve projects or your ability to issue tax-exempt obligations if you were to be deemed a small issuer in any given year for issuing $10 million less of obligation. It doesn't impact your ability to approve other kind of Lebanon County projects
Within our $10 million.
Within your $10 million. No, that doesn't impact that.
Yes. I just happen to have a copy of the Lebanon Daily News of the legal notice, March the 24th, I think. 2.5 paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
Questions. First of all, how does the North Lebanon Township Municipal Authority and the Dauphin County General Authority, how are they involved in this?
They were the conduit issuers of the obligations that will be refunded by this issuance for the benefit of Tel Hai.
And what do they get out of it?
They get nothing out of this.
Do they get something known as a finder's fee?
No. They were the issuers back in.
Well, then why should they get in? It has to go through them.
No, not at this point. The prior issuances did go through them. They were
That's
the
what I
issuers.
thought.
Right. They're listed in the notice just to clarify who were the issuers of the obligations that we're refunding with this new obligation.
Why would both municipalities have to get involved? Why couldn't it just go to North Lebanon? I mean, why would they just have to sign off on or whatever? Why does Dauphin County get involved in it, or vice versa?
Their only involvement here is just a reference to them in the notice to the public about
So
the
in
nature
other
of
words,
this.
from over here where the money starts to the money ends up in Chester County, how many people involved in there get a piece of the pie?
Dauphin General Authority and the North Lebanon Municipal Authority would be akin to being the first bank that mortgaged this. They're not going to be involved any longer. It's being refinanced, and the second mortgager is going to be this
Well,
authority.
see, this is what I'm asking, because some time back, I was in hearings for this very outfit, Tel Hai, Chester County. Now, in this article, 4 times, we use the term tax exempt. Explain that to me.
Tax exemption refers to the interest that the lender, which here would be M&T Bank, it's not considered gross income to them, so the bonds are allowed to be issued at a lower interest rate than otherwise they would be able to issue because the interest that the bank earns on this isn't taxed, so it's a subsidy essentially to beneficiaries of like Tel Hai.
So certain people basically get out of paying taxes. True or false?
Well, those entities that are lawfully entitled to.
Lawfully.
Yeah.
Why must Lebanon County, why must the commissioners sign off on this? Why must they do it?
Tel Hai, I can tell you that, I'll tell the commissioners, Tel Hai's had a very good relationship with Lebanon County issuers, and they felt comfortable going to the Lebanon County Health Facilities Authority here. And because of that relationship, they chose to go with them, and because of that, because the county incorporated that authority, under federal tax law, we need the county's approval for this financing to move
And I
forward.
think I understood you to say, let's say they refused to sign off. They don't want nothing to do with this. Does the project stop, or you gotta go somewhere else?
Probably we'd have to go somewhere else.
Okay. Commissioners, this is Chester County. We got no business in Chester County. Our business is in Lebanon County. Now, if you go along with this, what I'm doing, encouraging you to not go along with it. Why? If you go along with this, you're helping to refurbish, and it says it all in a remodel, make it more attractive so they can attract more clientele, right? But as we know, Ames and Phillips, you wouldn't lift a finger to save your own county home, Cedar Haven. So you do what you gotta do, but this is gonna make a good a newspaper article, I think. I don't think you should go along with it. I said, hey, stay out of it. It's Chester County. We want nothing to do with it. That's my opinion. You go on with your meeting.
Any other questions? Yes.
Can you explain in 1 or 2 sentences exactly what Tel Hai is, please?
Tel Hai is a not-for-profit organization that provide care for seniors age 62 and up. So they have independent living in any number of housing accommodations. Some of it's affordable housing, some of it's market cottages, market rate cottages, market rate apartments. They have personal care, which is a level of care before somebody has to go into a skilled nursing home environment. And they also operate, I believe it's 175 licensed skilled nursing beds on a campus of about 100 acres, just in Honey Brook Township, which is, by way of easy geography, the intersection of Route 10 and the Turnpike.
And so it's a lot of the indigent, Medicare, Medicaid.
It's they have their independent living is predominantly a private pay population. They do have their nursing home is approximately 50% medical assistance, Medicare/Medicaid.
50%.
Yes.
Seek a motion.
Make a motion to approve the resolution making this financing available.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any further comment? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
You need a second motion, you have a resolution, that was the motion for resolution, you also need a motion on the certificate for the TEPR hearing?
The resolution authorizes,
The
signing the
certificate.
certificate, so by
Okay.
one motion was sufficient.
All right, wanted to clarify, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very